TCI Channel 63 presents the TCI Sports High School Basketball Game of the Week.
Today we bring you the third annual Oakland County Slam Dunk and Three-Point Championship. Hello everybody, I'm Joe Abramson along with Tom Markowski of the Detroit News. We're here for the third annual Slam Dunk Three-Point Championship. A lot of good players out here, some of the favorites I think you probably know a little more about than most of the people out there.
Oh yeah, in the three-point shooting I think we got Matt Domke from West Bloomfield, Paul Roback from Waterford, Lady of Lakes, Sean Whitlock from Pontiac Northern ought to light it up today as well.
And with the slam dunk contest, a couple returning guys and a couple young guys that might come out and make some surprises.
Oh, I think you got to look at Oak Park first with their 2 6'7" players, Jamie Arnold and Ryan Perryman, and a smaller guy, Mike Carter from Oakland Christian, ought to do well today as well.
Okay, we'll be right back with the third annual Oakland County Slam Dunk and Three-Point Championship.
Vince, that new dummy cam is great.
Yeah, it'll sure give people a whole new outlook on what it's like when you don't wear a safety belt.
I think they'll get the picture.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
We're here with George Vanderwhite, president of the Troy Community Coalition. You've got to be very pleased with the turnout for the third slam dunk contest today.
This is really great. It's an event that seems to be building every year. It's our third year, and I think we increase participation and momentum every year.
Now, give us a little brief history about this event.
Well, the Troy Community Coalition is an organization that is trying to get together all of the organizations in the community which are interested in preventing the abuse of alcohol and drugs. And this is one very positive thing that we do to get kids and parents out to enjoy a very good day, and also at halftime to hear a message about the abuse of alcohol and drugs.
And today's halftime speaker is Ed Lynch, a former local athlete with a story that might hit home a little more with these guys.
Exactly, that's right. And he's experienced it himself, and he's in a business now where he sees also the effects of the abuse of alcohol and drugs.
That's right, Ed Lynch, who is with Lynch Funeral Home, right. So I guess, yeah, you do see that sort of thing. Is there any plans to make this even a bigger event? I know one of the writers over there said they ought to make this thing even bigger. He couldn't believe the turnout.
Well, we're talking about that because we would like to get more people involved. The logistics of that, I don't know how we work them out, but we are looking at that to go further than Oakland County. We are in Oakland County now. We'd like to expand it and see how far we could go. Maybe we could do the whole state. I don't know.
You never know. It sure is an exciting event, though, and we'll be back with more of the Slam Dunk and Three-Point Contest right after this. We're back here at the Oakland County Slam Dunk and Three-Point Shootout, and now let's go to PA announcer Joe Haas, who will introduce today's featured guest speaker.
While the judges tally up the scores from our preliminary round of the three-point shooting contest, we'd like to welcome our special guest to today's festivities. He was a graduate from Birmingham Brother Rice High School in 1979 who played baseball and football. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome Mr. Ed Lynch.
First of all, I'd like to ask you to give me a little bit of your attention if we can. I've been asked to come here to talk to you a little bit about a message that I think is very important. First of all, I'd like to congratulate all of you athletes for a job well done, and to the point that you've gotten to this stage of your game in your life. Congratulations, you deserve it. Again, I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself because I think the topic, or what I do want to talk to you about, is very important. I don't want to put a damper on the afternoon. My name is Ed Lynch. I graduated from Brother Rice High School in 1979. There I had I was very involved with their athletic program there. I was involved with their football and baseball program. Had earned all state honors, was the captain of the teams, had a number of full ride athletic scholarships, and had the opportunity to sign a professional baseball contract. I'm not trying to brag to any of you. I'm letting you know that when I was exactly where you were not too long ago, I'm 31 years old. The only thing that I wanted to do was to pursue an athletic career and to make it to the big leagues in baseball. That was my dream and that was my goal, and I had the road, in a sense, paved for me. I kind of tossed it all out the window because I am a drug addict and I am an alcoholic. And the process that I went through as a young person, I wouldn't wish upon any of you. I got drunk for the first time in 6th grade. I went through high school with drinking. Was a great time. It's a lot of fun. Everybody does it. We had terminologies as you have terminologies. We had brains. We had freaks. We had jocks. We had frocks, which are guys that did drugs and played ball. We had every student fit into a category. I was a jock. I was the athlete. That's what I wanted to be known as, so I stayed away from drugs. I thought alcohol was okay. Everybody did it. That's what we'll do. By the time I was a junior in high school, I was told by a faculty member I was an alcoholic. I wanted to make him have to apologize and do these things. It was kind of put aside, and I want to make one thing clear. I don't blame anybody at all for the difficulties and the problems that I may have had as a young person. The greatest thing going right now is our education and our information that we've been able to give to you over the last 10, 15 years. When I graduated from high school, I had a very severe car accident, and I was determined by my senior year in high school, after earning all state honors, having a number of scholarships, all these great things were happening to me. I was determined to quit drinking because everybody was talking and complaining and confronting me about my drinking. I went to school down south on a scholarship to decide I'm going to quit drinking. I'll prove everybody wrong. I'll start smoking a little dope. To make a very long story short, for the next 4 years of my life, I developed a daily cocaine habit. I used every other drug there was to use to an extreme. I deteriorated physically, mentally, and emotionally. I went from 210 pounds to 153 when I was checked into a hospital. And I attempted suicide twice high on cocaine. Now, to me, this is a very intense process for a young man who had the world basically in the palm of his hands as far as an athlete was concerned. And what I do today is very different than what I had my heart set on 12 years ago. I'm in business with my family, and we own and operate Lynch & Sons funeral homes throughout Oakland County. And what I see firsthand would make you people sick. And if any of you have ever experienced the loss of a child, of a son or a daughter or a dear friend, I do know how you feel. And until some of you experience walking into the funeral home and seeing a very dear friend of yours or a brother or a sister lying in a casket, then the topic that I talk about sometimes shoots right over your head. See, because when I was at Brother Rice, I was convinced that all the tragedies we would hear about in the communities wouldn't happen to me and my friends at Brother Rice. It was going to happen here at Troy. It was going to happen at Rochester. It would happen in Sterling Heights. All of the classmates, all those drunken accidents and all those terrible tragedies that we hear happen often, it wasn't going to happen to me and my friends. It is a rude awakening, because take a look around. It is a very rude awakening, partying with a good buddy, and 12 hours later seeing him absolutely mangled from an automobile accident. This is the reality that I sometimes talk about. When I get asked to talk to a group like this, I tend to talk a little bit about what I see in my business, because you don't want to look at those things until you're forced into it. This is reality for me today. Last month, 30 days ago, I buried 3 young men who were juniors and seniors in high school. And when I tend to talk, I talk a little bit about what unfortunately I have to do on a daily basis. Because when I was where you were at, some of you have already maybe tipped a few beers coming here today. I don't know, I hope not. But I know it wasn't long ago where I was where you were at. And the only thing that associated drugs and alcohol was a good time. That's how I connected the two. After a big event like this, we're going to go out and get plastered, celebrate, you know? That's what I thought. You would be amazed at what an automobile in a tree at 75 miles an hour can do to a good friend. And maybe some of you haven't experienced that type of pain. I have. Some of you may laugh and you may giggle and you may bump arms and you may be saying, who's the gentleman down front in some suit talking to us about drugs and alcohol? I can truly appreciate that. Because the one opportunity that they gave us when they brought a speaker to Brother Rice years ago when I was there, I sat in the very back bleachers and I bumped elbows with my buddies and I laughed at the man down front. And that day I went out and I drank a bunch of beers on that man. I didn't wake up one day to become an alcoholic or a drug addict. I had no intention. I will promise you this, you young people who are screwing around with it right now, the one promise and the one guarantee that I will make to you, and I didn't come here today to tell you how to live your lives. I didn't come here to preach to you. I simply came to tell you a little bit about Ed Lynch. You've never met me, I've never met you. Now you know a little bit about this guy. But the one promise and the one guarantee that I'll make to all of you young people who are toying with the alcohol and the drugs right now, there's going to come a time in your life, and it will happen a lot sooner than later, that you're going to seriously regret having chose to drink or use a drug that particular day in your life. There will come a time, and I promise you this is an absolute guarantee, that there will come a time in your life where you're going to wish you could turn the clock back, and you're going to wish that you didn't pick up that drink that night. And I hope to God nobody dies over it. Because I've had to deal with the families whose sons, as of 4 weeks ago, were removed from this earth like that. And having to walk back from a gravesite of a young man who 3 weeks earlier came into our funeral home to pay his final respects to two dear, dear friends of mine, or of his. He was the third person into the funeral home to pay his respects to his two good friends. This is 30 days ago. Who were killed in an alcohol-related accident. And this young gentleman was struck at 3:30 in the morning head-on by a 23-year-old drunk young lady. And it killed him instantly. This is 3 weeks after we buried his two good friends. And walking back from the gravesite with his father looked up at me, looked back at his son's grave and his casket, looked me square in the eyes, and he says, I cannot believe that I've just buried my son. This is what I see daily. I get nervous when I get asked to have the opportunity to come and talk to you a little bit about myself, because every time I do, I usually get a death call, unfortunately, of something that I've tried to talk to you people about an alcohol-related incident and a young person being killed. I have no answers for the family. None. But I will never forget my friends. See, because I was talking to the gentleman over here not long ago about how my father, who just recently died, used to try to threaten me, or I used to think it as a threat. He used to try to scare me. Because as a party-going high school student, I'd come home and he'd say, man, I'll take you over to the funeral home. You won't believe what just happened. And all these things, all these stories that he related to me. I thought, oh, Dad, get out of here. I see him firsthand now. He was right. He was right. Take a good look around at your friends. Take care of each other. Drugs and alcohol will kill you eventually. And in the wrong hands, because you young people know with your classmates and your peers, you people drink and you use to abuse it. You don't drink to sit down. I can guarantee you there's not one of you probably who have gotten together with 6 of your peers, gone home and bought 1 6-pack, 1 beer per person, sat down and had a beer and called it a day and talked about homework. That never existed with me and my friends. We got enough alcohol, enough chemical to do something to us, and that's a dangerous drinking pattern. A lot of you young people will not be as lucky as I am. I should not be here. I had 3 car accidents. I had 2 overdoses, heart being pumped, the whole ball of wax. I shouldn't be here, but for some reason I am. There will be a lot of you who will not be as lucky as I am. I hope you prove me wrong. I hope you go on to be great successes. The most important thing is take care of yourself. If your friends can't accept you for not using or for not drinking, that's their problem. It certainly isn't your problem. Be a leader. I was a leader, but I was influenced the wrong way. I was a leader, but I was influenced the wrong way. I hope to God, and for any of you who have had to bury friends or brothers or sisters, I do know that pain. I do know that pain. Take a look around, take care of each other, count your blessings, and stay away from the dope and the booze, because I will tell you from personal experience, and the most difficult thing I ever had to do as a successful athlete, because what comes along with being a successful athlete is our ego and our pride. And the most difficult thing I ever had to do as a successful athlete was to ask somebody to help me, because I was going to die. And that is the biggest hurdle as an egotistical maniac that I had to come over, was to ask for help. And once I asked for help and tried to stop solving the problems on my own, things seemed to work. It's amazing what friends can do for friends. So again, I'm done. I hope all of you a great year. Stay away from the stuff. I promise you it will catch up with you. God bless you. Take care.
Coalition is the sponsor of this event, but there are also other prevention organizations who are involved in it, and we're going to have Ed draw a ticket, and we're going to honor one of those prevention organizations with a cash gift, if you would do that for us. It's the Bloomfield Birmingham Families in Action. Thank you very much.
Thank you again, Ed. At this time, we'd like to ask all slam dunk competitors to please report behind the scores table. All slam dunk contestants.
And we'll be right back with the finals of the slam dunk and three-point competition.
Time left in this football game.
Hey, how you doing? It's freezing out
Hey,
there.
it's been a year, man, but close the door.
Have a cup of coffee and warm your body. Hey, Uncle Dan, whatever happened to that cute little puppy you had last year?
Oh, that cute little puppy's grown up. He stays in the backyard now. Hey, look at that line hold. He's in for the end zone with a touchdown.
Animals need warmth and companionship, too.
And we're back here for the finals of the three-point competition part of today's festivities. And we're going to first take a look at who the finalists are after the first round today. Leading the way with the top score, Jeremy Mullet with 17. As you see going down, Jeff Martin, Pat Nadeau, Mike Ball, Don Fellows, Jason Hansen, Matt Perry, Adam McCarthy, Paul Roback, Mike Miller, and Carl Reeves. Normally there's 10 guys because 3 people tied at 13. There'll be 11. Which means Carl Reeves is going to go on his own. And we're going to take a look at the rules now for the three-point shootout. And again, 5 racks, 5 balls, just like the NBA three-point contest. 1 point per ball, except for the last one, which is 2. 60-second time limit. And I believe we're going to be ready in just a second to go with Carl Reeves on his own. I think they've got him at the wrong basket. They're going to move him down to the other basket, and then he'll go. One of the better football players in the state, right, Tom?
Excellent. Fullback and linebacker for Oxford.
Led them to a state championship. I think scored the winning touchdown in overtime. And we're ready to take a look at Carl Reeves and his chance in the final. And he he is going to what college? Michigan. And for some reason, they've got Mike Miller going by himself, or going at the other end, which is not what they told us he'd be doing. But they've changed the order on us a little bit here. Mike Miller from South Lyon. Carl Reeves is scoring up into 10 now. Miller, a 5'10 junior from South Lyon. Apparently they're going to change the order just a little bit, and the number 1 guy, Jeremy Mullet, will be going by himself. Probably the best thing I can guess.
Carl Reeves started off well. He's through.
The final score with Carl Reeves got a 13. Mike Miller scored 10. And they do have 2 people coming out again this time, so I'm going to guess Paul Roback down at the home end and Adam McCarthy down at the visitors end. So apparently Jeremy Millet will be going on his own instead of the guys that were at the bottom of the list. And again, that is not how we were told it was going to be.
Didn't Cosmo say that Adam McCarthy was his pick today?
Well, he started to say that, Cosmo, the all-knowing seer of all sports in high school in Oakland County, and then he decided to go with Don Fellows, his personal most favorite athlete in all of Oakland County. I think because they are buddies and hang out together, and I don't know. And that right there, I believe, is Paul Roback.
No, that's Adam
That's
McCarthy.
Adam McCarthy. Okay, I'm sorry.
There's Paul Roback.
Paul Roback, another junior. He's from Our Lady of the Lakes.
Who made a strong run in the state tournament.
That's right, and Walled Lake Central, who made a strong run all season.
Until they met up with Pershing.
Well, everybody had a strong season until they met up with Pershing. There you see a little trouble getting around the rack. Again, this is something that's a little different for these guys. Used to catching the ball and shooting it, or dribbling the ball and shooting it. Taking it off a rack is just something you don't do.
McCarthy came off the bench this year for Walled Lake Central and was their most consistent three-point shooter.
Again, they had a great season. We're ranked number 1 in Oakland County most of the year, I believe.
Doing quite well right now.
Yeah, he's looking like he's going to get himself up there. One important thing about the three-point contest, your first round scores don't count towards the final. In the dunk contest, they do. All 4 dunks will count. In this case, only what you do right now counts towards your final score. You see, number 19 McCarthy just finished early. Roback got his final shot off. Roback ended up with 8 points. McCarthy with 15, which makes him the early leader in this competition. McCarthy, you mentioned, one of the better three-point shooters from one of the better teams in the early lead. And now we're going to look at the visitors' basket, Jason Hansen from Seaholm. And at the home basket, Matt Perry.
Ortonville Brandon.
Ortonville Brandon. Thank you. Both of these guys are seniors. Hansen, last year a finalist in the dunk contest and maybe a finalist in this year's dunk contest. Did pretty well in the prelims. We haven't gotten those scores yet, though. And so far, neither guy, well, now Perry's starting to hit a little bit. He's hit about 3 in a row.
He's up there a little bit.
And Hansen's starting to catch up a little bit, too. Hansen pretty much the focal point of the Seaholm basketball team this year. They didn't have a great record, but they were starting to rebuild after a couple of pretty lean years, trying to get back to the winning ways that Gary Chamberlain had established a couple of years before. Now, Dave Watkins, they may be able to get back to the respectability that they once had. And he was definitely their MVP this year and one of the better players in the SMA. See him starting to catch up, but Perry is up there at about 9 or 10 points right now. One thing you hear even in the NBA, the legs start to go at that last rack because these are a lot of jump shots you're taking.
Mostly set shots that Hansen style was there. It wasn't so much the jump shot technique.
Well, when you're tall, you can pull that off. That's what they say about Larry Bird, how he had the advantage because he was a little taller. And yeah, Jason Hansen will be back for the dunk contest. He came in second in the prelims. Mike Ball from Madison High School, 5'11 senior. And Cosmo's pick right there, Don Fellows, one of the top 2 quarterbacks in Oakland County this year. 5'11 senior from Waterford Kettering. And we're ready to go with those two.
These 2 went first, these 2 went second, these 2 went third. Now we're here.
Now Fellows still hasn't hit any. It looks like Cosmo's not doing so well on this pick yet. As we mentioned, 2 years in a row, he was the leading passer in terms of yardage in Oakland County. A little short for quarterback, but he did have a great high school career. And number 48 on his jersey, Mike Ball from Madison, hit 52 three-pointers this season.
He's had a lot of practice.
Oh, yeah. But again, he hasn't had any practice taking it off the rack and shooting it, probably. Fellows is starting to hit a few. He's up to 6 points. Ball's up to 9. Now Fellows is up to 8. And everything, again, coming up just a little short as you get to the end of the racks, because the shorter guys can't get away with those set shots usually, so they do have to fire up the jumpers. Now Ball's up to 10. Now, well, almost 11. This is the 2-pointer. And Mike Ball ends up with 10 points. Fellows with 9. And Cosmo, as usual, is incorrect.
We'll have to tell them that later.
Yeah, Cosmo is here somewhere. We saw him. He's sitting in the crowd just like last year. He's enjoying himself. They offered him to be a judge. He decided not to. Now you see Jeff Martin from Oakland Christian, not even listed in the program, and he comes out here with the second best score of the prelims. And Pat Nadeau also tied for the second best score. Both had 16 in the first round. And they're going to go against each other now and see if they can beat that top score of 15 held by Adam McCarthy right now.
That's Jeff Martin on the left side of the screen.
And Jeff Martin still hasn't hit any. Nadeau's hit a couple. Just off the back a couple times in a row there.
That seems to be a little strong on his shot. Oh, finally got one to go.
Now he's got 3, almost got the 2-pointer. Meantime, Martin's still looking for his first to go down after a tremendous 16-point first round. And he keeps putting them off the back, too. Nadeau's up to 7 points now. Getting a lot of arc on that Joe Dumars type arc that we were talking about before this contest. And he misses the 2-pointer again. Martin's up to 2 points now, 3. Starting to hit from the baseline, too little, too late, however. Down to 3 seconds, 2 seconds. Nadeau throws up his 2-point shot. That goes. Give him 10 points and give Martin 4. And now we've got one guy left, Jeremy Mullet. And he, I think, is a surprise as far as maybe not being in the finals, but to be the leader after the first round.
Okay, he did quite well in the prelims, scoring 17. So far, our best scorer in the final round here is Adam McCarthy with 15.
Cosmo almost picked him. You know, he probably should have.
He probably should have stuck with him, it looks like.
Yeah, you know, well, he's a little shaky, that Cosmo guy. Jeremy Mullet from Rochester, 6'2", 178 pounds. Plays for Coach Ed Wright, who I believe is supposed to have a pretty good team next year because he had some juniors like Jeremy Mullet
that can shoot from the outside. Yeah. Exactly.
And he's got off to a pretty good start there. He's already got 5 points. Knowing what he needs to beat here, he's up to 7 now. There's the 2-point ball. Can't get that to go. Still can't get him from the top, which usually is one of the easier shots to make. Missing him off the back a little bit. Didn't get any so far on this rack. Now he hits the 2-pointer. He's up to 9. 2 racks to go and 24 seconds to go.
Still got time.
Got time, but he's running out of balls. That's the thing. He's got to start hitting a few. He's going to get to that last rack. He's up to 10 points. If he makes this, that's 12 points. That was the 2-point ball. Right. It's going to go down to the wire with him.
Nice.
13 if he makes this.
The rhythm.
This is it. Win or lose on this shot. And Adam McCarthy unofficially has won the 3-point contest. Mullet comes in second with 14. And Adam McCarthy with 15 unofficially. We'll have to double check the official scores. But apparently he is the winner. From Walled Lake Central, 6'3", 170-pound senior. Again, you mentioned the guy off the bench, their most consistent three-point shooter. Nice way to top off a great senior season.
Definitely.
And we'll
they had a couple other good ones, but he was their best off the bench.
And we'll be right back with the Slam Dunk Finals after this on TCI Cable.
Excuse me. Do you wear your safety belt?
Why, no. I don't wear my safety belt.
Thank you.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
And we're back here now for the dunk part of today's festivities. And we're going to take a quick look at the rules for the dunk contest. As we mentioned earlier, all the scores from the earlier rounds do count towards the final. No props, no blindfolds, no firm grip or stick 'em. You can't jump over chairs or anything. Dunks are rated from 1 to a 10.0 scale, judged by a bunch of guys who've never dunked before, and you saw all the rules there. And right there you saw Mac Fuller go with the first dunk of the day.
Holly.
Mac from Holly, who was the first finalist to go. Now we're going to see Mikey Tyson playing in his home gym. Ought to give him a little bit of an advantage, I believe.
You should know the rims.
His favorite rims. Wonder if he got to pick which side they went at. Relatively new rims here too, we should mention.
Started out well, just did not have the finish.
Yeah, he showed some ups in the prelims a couple times, both making them and missing them in the warm-ups. We saw he was getting way above the rims. We know he can jump. He might have just got a little bad start on that. You do get to make up a missed dunk. According to the rules, I think he's double checking that right now. It says, yeah, if the first attempt at a dunk is missed, the second is granted. I know those rules were only up there for a brief moment. You couldn't read all of them, but he should get another attempt right now.
We don't know what they're discussing, but we assume
some
that's
sort
what
of
they're
delay,
discussing.
yeah. I guess maybe they aren't going to give him a second dunk. Maybe you're only allowed so many.
Well, they allowed them in the prelims. So.
Yeah. Maybe you're only allowed like 1 or 2 the whole day, and if you used it, which wouldn't make sense. Meantime, Mac Fuller's score on his first dunk was a 50.2. And with the way they scored in the first round, it's going to be hard to figure out who wins it until the actual session is done. There you see Mikey Tyson.
That was very
making
nice.
it. A little lefty there, too.
Yes.
Didn't get much of a response from the home crowd, though.
No, you think he'd have the crowd cheering for him.
Yeah, well, he'll have to get on those guys. Now we got Mikey Brown.
Southfield Lathrop. And
last year the winner was a Southfield Lathrop guy, Mark Chappelle. Mikey going to try to keep the streak alive here. He's 6'4", 194 pounds. Considered one of Oakland County's most exciting players heading to the basket.
A little bit of a whirlwind there. Didn't take it down as low as he probably would have liked, but he still scored well there, I believe.
Nice double clutch there, and the crowd got a little more into that one, I think. I'm going to take another look at it, coming right at you in your living room. Takes it down. Yeah, probably would want to bring that below the waist a little bit. Yeah. You got one more angle. We're going to show you that same dunk from center court. See how high he got up, though. Now we got Chad Suter. Chad off alley-oop to himself.
That was very pretty.
Chad Suter from Waterford Kettering.
Good reaction from the crowd.
And considering how much Cosmo loves Waterford Kettering.
Does he live in Waterford?
I think so, yeah. I think he lives next door to some other guy that works for the Oakland Press, or he might be renting a room from him. But here you go, the Kettering guys getting up there and dunking it.
I think Suter really scored well on that one, being only 5'11", and yet he got up there. You can see it again here.
5'11",
got up real high.
155-pound senior, and then he hung a little bit. Got those Michigan shorts on. That's got to help you too, especially today.
Michigan shorts down to his ankles.
there, Steve Jertwich grabbed it from one side, came around and reversed again. Didn't quite get a clean dunk on it, but that's going to have to count. Steve from Ortonville, Brandon, 6'7". When you get that tall, sometimes you got to do a little bit more just to get the judges going. Take one more look, yeah.
He grabbed the rim and just didn't hang on to it long enough.
And now we've got Phil Preed. Phil from Rochester Adams, considered a master at creativity, at least according to the program.
That was a nice dunk. It wasn't so artistic, but he did have a good finish to it. I think Preed was a little bit of a surprise scoring so well in the prelims. Only being 6'2", you would think some of the 6'7", 6'5" kids would have got up there.
That was pretty nice. Reminds you of another guy from Adams a couple years ago, Brian Burrell, who at 5'11" got himself into the finals.
Oh, that was nice. He brought it behind his back, or behind his head, yes.
And here's the only guy that made both finals, Jason Hansen from Seaholm, a repeat performer in the dunk finals, coming in, I believe, 8th last year. Looked great in warm-ups. I know that he's got some hacks on his wrist from one of the dunks he did in the first round.
Maybe he should have saved that blood for the final round.
Yeah, well, except nowadays, if you bleed, you got to come off the court.
Oh, that's
off the side.
That would have been creative. Yes,
that's creative. That doesn't count, I don't think, as an attempt.
No, it doesn't.
It shouldn't. Let's see.
Okay, it's off the wall, back wall.
Now that probably, I think he probably ran out of his 15 seconds, though, that you get to take the shot. So now it's probably his takeover dunk now. Would have been nice, though.
Yes, it's a good idea. Oh, he's trying a different approach here. Not bad.
That works, too, though.
Not bad.
And he's probably doing the smart thing, being that he's in second place going in, and the scores are cumulative. You don't want to do anything to just knock yourself out of it. Just kind of go along and maybe come back in the final dunk.
Yeah, you don't want to miss. You don't want to, get 0 on this round.
Yeah, that'll take you right out of it altogether. Still, the dunk Spud Webb made famous.
Behind his back, that was nice.
Yeah, when you're 5'7", it looks a little, a little better, but that's still a good dunk. And now we got the guy who came in first, Chad Arish, coming up as you see this final look at Hansen's dunk from midcourt. Arish from Milford, 6'3", 170 pounds. And it says here in the program, another solid dunker who'll have to get funky to get to the finals. And we were talking about you can't fake the funk on the nasty dunk.
Well, he faked it a little bit on that attempt.
Yeah. Well, he's got that do-over that you get. It's, like a mulligan, I guess. As we would call it.
We would know all that, Joe.
We know mulligans.
Yes.
Oh, he almost made the bounce. That would have been kind of impressive, but it wouldn't got you any points either. Now he missed both attempts, and he's going from being in the lead now to probably struggling to place.
Show it again. I don't think he wanted to hit the rim on that bounce, is where that threw him off on his timing. And like we were saying before, you don't want to mess yourself up by scoring no points, and I think Chad just did it there.
Yeah, now we've got Mac Fuller. We're going to the final dunks. Now each guy's on his final dunk. Mac, this is his second time around. Got his back to the basket right now. Maybe a little Kenny Smith coming up here through the legs.
He feels that he needs to do something extra special on this one to score real well and try to steal one, how should I say, on this.
And this does look like that dunk Kenny Smith made famous in the NBA contest, and there it is.
Oh.
And again, the rim gets in the way.
Yes.
Now we got to see what he's going to do for his second dunk.
He's got another plan of attack here.
Yeah, well, I guess you don't want to go with too hard of a dunk on your second one and miss that, since you already started out being the last finalist. That one's probably not going to move him up too high unless a few other guys miss.
Exactly. I don't expect him to win it after that, but you never know. There might be some misses ahead of him.
Yeah, we've seen, well, I mean, we can't even do this, so.
We need a ladder to do what they're doing.
Yeah. A ladder and a Nerf ball and a trampoline. We're going to take one more look at this dunk, though. Again, from center court. The Bubba cam, as we like to call it. And now we've got Wakey Tyson again in his home gym, waiting for the go-ahead. Wakey, 6'7", 195-pound senior, will be going on to college next year. Player we saw a couple times on TCI cable during the season.
There's Wakey going in left-handed. Does the 360, but misses.
Would have been
good.
Yeah.
He started out real well there. Another attempt here. Behind his head. That was good. That was
saying, for the bad bounce he got, that's a great dunk. He had to almost reach down after he jumped. I know we'll get another look at that.
That was a nice adjustment by Tyson.
Let's see if we get a replay of that one. You see the ball didn't bounce up as high as he probably thought it would, but he came back, caught it, and reversed it, and then hung a little bit. Now we're going to go to Mikey Brown again. After we see one more look at Wikey Tyson. And now from Wikey to Mikey. Mikey Brown again from Southfield Lathrop, trying to keep that streak alive for the Chargers. See people out here in full force today for this dunk contest.
Just a super crowd here at Troy High School.
And people holding up numbers, trying to be judges too.
Unofficially. Nice by Mikey.
Oh.
Brought the ball down to his knees.
Gotta like that.
Back up.
And coming up here, apparently the crowd favorite right now, Chad Suter from Waterford Kettering. Maybe all these people were at Cosmo's house last night.
There's a replay here.
There it is, little double clutch, and then little look at the camera after that.
Yes, he knew he did well. He knew he did well.
Spread the legs, you gotta do all that showmanship stuff for the judges. Now we're ready for Chad Suter in the Michigan shorts, apropos on this Final Four afternoon. And at 5'11", a definite advantage once you're up in the air because it looks even better when you're dunking.
Definitely the crowd favorite too. Here we try something. Whoa. A little bit too hard off the backboard with that bounce. Just came back too hard and too quickly for him.
Of course, Chad there with the no jewelry rule in effect with the tape over the ear.
Oh, that's going to hurt him on the points.
And if it had gone in, it might have won the contest.
Yes. Chad definitely has some springs in his legs. You can see him take off here. And just was a little short on that.
Yeah, that's exactly what he wanted to do, just couldn't finish the dunk off. And now we got Steve Jertwich coming up. 51 from Mortonville, Brandon, 6'7", 205, a junior, so a guy to look for next year as well as one of the favorites, along with one of those 8th graders from Country Day, probably.
Yeah, I heard there was one coming up.
Yeah, I guess he's maybe the first freshman to win it. We'll worry about that next year. Right now, let's take a look at Steve Jertwich.
Oh, that was a tricky one. That was nice. He seemed to throw that ball underneath his arm and up, and then grab it and jam it home. That was nice. A little artistic there.
I like that. I think I saw Rex Chapman try that once in a NBA dunk contest. He threw it from behind his back over his head and caught it. I haven't seen anybody try that yet here in 3 years.
Well, he threw it.
There it is. From under the basket, then he hangs a little bit for the showmanship.
I think he had to hear the cameras clicking. He wanted to stay up there a little longer.
And one more time. Yeah, it definitely looks nice. Yeah, you get your picture in the paper even if you don't win the contest. That's always a good thing. And now, Phil Preed from Rochester Adams. Another one of the shorter guys. He had the crowd going a little bit in the first round. I noticed the crowd really got into, especially his first dunk of the day.
Oh,
they would have gone too.
Almost had that one.
One more try. They would have gone crazy for that one too.
Looks like he may be trying the same approach on this second try.
Might as well. He came that close the first time.
There he goes. No, he went straight at the basket and still missed. So the first time around, he tried a 360, and he almost had it. This time, he went straight at the basket, and unfortunately for Phil, he didn't hit either one.
Yeah, I don't think the ball bounced where he wanted it.
No, I think he wanted to go 360 on that one. I agree. But he had to adjust and try to go straight at it.
Now we're looking at probably the favorite now, Jason Hansen, since the only guy that was ahead of him missed Chad Arish. So Hansen right here, see if he tries to go off the wall again. Apparently not.
He might go off the ceiling here.
There's a thought. Now he should be able to still count this as his first dunk since he never actually went at the basket with the ball. I don't know exactly how these rules work, except that you get 15 seconds to do it. He's probably used those up.
There he goes off the backboard again. Oh. Yes! That was very similar to the one he did in the prelims.
Yeah, and he had to, that thing bounced funny too. He had to stretch behind and then stretch forward with the dunk.
And it made it even more spectacular because it was that way.
You see him taking the wristband off, trying to avoid any more cuts and scrapes.
Here we got a shot of it again off the glass. He had to reach back and comes down nicely.
Now, I'm not sure what all the scores are right now, but I gotta think he's either in the lead or right there with whoever else is close. Here's our final dunk of the day, Chad Arish from Milford, 6'3". He was in the lead going into the finals, but he didn't make his dunk the last time around.
Oh, reverse dunk. It was nice, but it won't score him as many points as he needs.
You probably wanted to just assure himself that he made one after going that first time without getting anything down. That was the final dunker, though, and they're going to tally up the final scores, and we'll be right back with the winners of both the slam dunk and three-point after we take a look at this replay of Chad Arish turning around. But again, that is the final dunker of the day, and we will be right back with the final results and the winners right after this on TCI Cable.
Just the thought of losing you brings out my love so true. Hurting you is the last thing I would ever do. I'm taking care of you.
Do a good turn for the earth. A community service thought from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Let's not.
Not in our city.
Not in our family.
Not in our state.
Let's not.
Not on our team.
Not at my party.
Not in my school.
Not in my neighborhood.
Not in our county.
Not in my community.
Let's not take it anymore.
And we're back here at the Oakland County Slam Dunk three-point shootout. And the final results, first from the three-point competition. Adam McCarthy came in first with 15 points. Jeremy Mullett next with 14. Carl Reeves with 13. And you see the rest on your screen as they go down. Now we'll go over to the dunk finals. Jason Hansen from Seaholm came in first with 158.5, followed by Mikey Brown from Southfield Lathrop, then Wikey Tyson in his own gym, and then Steve Jerwich. And again, you see as the rest of the dunkers went down the screen. And right now, we're going to talk to the winners. First of all, the three-point competition, Adam McCarthy from Walled Lake Central. Pretty good way to top off what was an incredible season for your team and for you individually this year.
Yeah, it was really great. After everything that we've been through in the regionals and everything and the quarterfinals, it's just a great way to end it.
And we were talking while the competition was going on, you guys were the top team in Oakland County, according to the Oakland Press anyway, pretty much throughout the season. I know Cosmo almost picked you to win this thing, and at the last second we were talking to him here, changed his mind, went with some guy from Waterford, and as usual he's picking on Walled Lake, and you guys come around and shut him up once again.
Yeah, that's fine. He hasn't picked us the whole year, and we showed him in the season, and I guess I showed him today. So
that'd be a lot of fun. Now you take it back to Walled Lake and everyone can celebrate.
Yep, that's it.
All right, again, Adam McCarthy from Walled Lake Central, the 1993 Oakland County three-point champion. Now we're going to talk to the dunk champion, Jason Hansen from Seaholm, the only returning finalist from last year, so you had to come in this year expecting to at least get that far again and obviously possibly win it.
Yeah, I was expecting to win it.
Were you preparing a lot in the last couple of weeks for it?
Well, I've been doing high jump for the first time, and that really helps. You know, for the first time in my life, I'm trying high jump. So that's helping, and then I've been going to the playground on those sunny days on the 9'3" rims and dunking. My hands are all messed up, but it's fun.
Yeah, I noticed that your wrist is all messed up. I don't know if we can get a shot, but his wrist is just hacked from the rims. I know that a couple of the Seaholm guys told me after the first round that your best dunks were in the warm-ups before the competition even started, and they figured you were waiting for the final round to show your real stuff, and I guess you finally did that.
Yeah, I did so many dunks in the practice that were made, and then when I tried them, they messed up. So I just went back to my bread and butter that I've been doing all my life, and it worked out good.
And I guess the one question I do have for you, that thing you threw off the wall, what were you gonna do?
Reverse. I did that 3 times straight in warm-ups, and I can't believe I messed it up.
Sorry, I just say as long as you get the win, you come out. Again, you guys didn't have quite the season Walled Lake Central did, but for you individually, you pretty much dominated your team for actually the last 2 years, and now you can finish out your high school career with this championship.
Yeah, that's great. This is what I wanted all my life, basically. I couldn't jump 9th grade. I just worked on it, and I can't believe I've won this.
There's Jason Hansen, proving that not all movie titles are accurate. Adam McCarthy, the three-point champion. Jason Hansen, the Oakland County 1993 Slam Dunk champion. We'll be back here next year, of course, with the 1994 Slam Dunk Championship, and this fall with high school football on TCI Cable. For Tom Markowski from the Detroit News, and for all the crew here at TCI, I'm Joe Abramson. Thank you, everybody, and good night.